Hello, you funny little crew, and welcome back. So it's been a minute since the last time I uploaded. I've been on a little hiatus, but I'll get into that later. However, today's video, it's my full acrylic process. And this is for my portfolio, so the thing that I'm focusing on is this paint right here. Payne's gray. I love it. Don't know if I've made that clear. That's why the rest of the paints are all from like Walmart or Michael's or the dollar store, and that specifically is the most expensive paint you'll ever see. Like, why? I mean, it's beautiful, it's super fluid and nice and creamy, but again, just buy Walmart paint or dollar store paint. It works just as well. I prefer the Michael's Artist Loft though. They're kind of valid. Or the Basics. Basics are nice. But what I'm doing is just kind of laying down all the colors and filling them in, just to get a good rough base, kind of where I want the colors to go. I normally throw down an underpainting, just so I'm not insane, and I look like a real artist, and then I go into the colors that I kind of want to use, and then I start adding. And now, to quick interrupt our little TV session with where I've been, I've had a lot of family issues and troubles lately, and a lot of mental health problems as well. And I was also sick, and I got better, and I was like, yeah, let's get back in. And then I got sick again, and then I was feeling bad, and then I got sick again, 3 times in a row, baby. Let's go. Like, I'm number one pussy magnet at this point, but for sickness. But I've had a lot of nice and warm and welcoming and very kind comments, and that has really been helping me try to get back. So thank you for all of those nice comments and all the very lovely things everyone has been saying. I really appreciate it. And I try to like or comment on every comment that I get, just because I really do appreciate it, and I'm very grateful for all of you watching. So thank you. Hopefully I can keep a steady schedule for posting. Finally, hopefully. I've tried to do it time and time again, and I have failed chronically. It's like it's like I'm an actual YouTuber, because I can't post. I can't have a schedule for to save my life. But back to the painting video. If you have a keen eye, you might realize or kind of think, hey, this is quite similar to another cool painting I know, which I'll put a picture up. But this is inspired by stage 1 of The Caretakers, Everywhere at the End of Time. The theme for this painting was dementia, and specifically our perception of it, and not actually going through, not the person going through it, but the people watching. So this is a painting of paper towels that were sitting on my desk, with like fake leaves in them. I thought they were fake until they started dying. And then I was like, oh my god, fake leaves can die. But it looked really surreal from me sitting on my floor looking up at my desk, and I took a picture of it, and I was just like, wow, this is really artsy and aesthetic. And then I was listening to Everywhere at the End of Time, which, amazing. Go listen to it if you haven't. It'll destroy your life in the best way or the worst way, but it's a way nonetheless. And you can see that I had a cup there, but I kind of scrapped that in like the last bit of it just because I didn't like it. But I also tried using the palette knives. I switched back to the brush. But the top, I wanted the blue of that kind of picture, really grainy, so it was like a blue-green, but really like a really green blue. And then there was a sand color on the bottom that was slightly green as well. I wanted it to feel like it kind of matched, but it like shouldn't. It shouldn't, like, you know? I just wanted it to feel very confusing, but also very comfy. Like, nostalgic, but in, like, the way, like, a liminal space is. Like, you look at a liminal space and you think, oh my god, I'm going to die within the next 24 hours. And that's kind of what I want to give. I also added flowers to the leaves, and I also added drips, which I didn't get on film. I'm so sorry. Every time I get a good idea, not on camera. It's like, ugh. Anywho, oh, wait. The way I like to blend, let me quick proceed. This is, what I like to do is I like to put down a good amount of color, and then go in with the second color, and I just kind of like to blend it up like how basic white girls do, you know, just like that basic white girl blending style. And then I'll go back in with the second color again, and then put that in the middle and blend that back up into the original color, and I just over blend it really bad. I get the first color laid down, and then I add the second color a little bit and just try to blend it out really lightly. And I do like basic strokes for those, and then I'll go back in and I just use a lot of paint. I just use a lot of paint. Enough paint to make a seasoned professional painter cry because of the amount of money I am wasting. I'm throwing money down the drain because I just slapped paint on and blend up, slap paint on and blend down, slap paint on and blend sideways and behind. Like, I feel so bad. I also, I'm really trying to get into mixing all of the colors I want in a good amount before I start, because I had to remix the same color 8 times, and this is where I didn't have enough of the blue, so I'm just like going around town trying my absolute hardest. But I'm a mere gremlin boy. I can't do much, and when I do, it hurts my brain. Also another blending thing I do is I water down my paints. I know. Now, everyone in the traditional art realm is going to scream, cry, shit their pants, vomit, cry again, and keel over and die. Eat 71 pounds of sand and die. And I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. When I first started taking traditional art really seriously and learning the basics, I was one of those cocky, yeah, I know how to blend blue into purple type of people. And I would never water down my paints. I would just use an excessive amount and just cope with the fact that it was thick. But I had watered down my paints before. However, I started doing it again because it just works. I've tried a paint thinner and it's just not as good. Well, yes, the pigment might not be best. But what I do is I use watered down colors, right? Super watered down, like how the base painting was, and then I water them down a little bit more, and then I go in with that thick, rich color. And I think those layers of transparency to the opaque color really help build up value and distinguish the different realms of the art that I'm painting. I hope that makes sense in some way, and if it doesn't, I agree. I don't know what I just said. However, the paper towel was very fun to paint because it was like add a few little colors, blend it out with white, make it like pastel but super muted, and it was so fun. It crinkled my little tiny small brain. So I want you to know that blending for that, I put down white, put down a little bit of the color, blended it out, and then put more white on top. And that's how I blend. I'm not a very clean artist when it comes to blending. Like, the blending might look smooth at the end, but the pathway to get there is so rough and so tedious and hard for no reason, because I can never just get, like, I can never do, like, the easiest way. It's always got to be the hardest way, apparently. Like, I don't know what it is, but then finally I'll go in and I'll render everything. So once the basic colors are down, and I've blended, the parts that I want blended, like, specifically are done, I'll go in and I'll start rendering, adding more color, shadows. I'll start really, like, blending and defining, the dimensions of the object. I think that's what I want to say. But, yeah. So my process is basically really shitty, watered down, underpainting, slightly watered down paints to get the base color, really thick the entire tube of paint onto the canvas, and then define, shade a little bit, add a little bit of volume, definition, and then the best part is highlights and last details. And the final details are where I go absolutely nuts, and I'm prepared to ruin a piece that I like for the sake of my tiny little brain dancing around. Monkey brain over here really likes to add a lot. I can't, like, my sketchbook covers should not have been the way that they were. I should have stopped. I should have put the pen down. I should have medicated myself and went to bed, but I didn't. Also, why does it just stop randomly? I guess I didn't, like, cut the video well enough. I did this in the span of, like, 2 or 3 days. I work, so I can't just paint 24 hours. I did come close. I stayed up till midnight one of the nights just painting this, and I think that killed me. I've also been in an art funk recently, and I don't know if anybody else has been in one, but it's absolutely crippling. Absolutely crippling. I try really hard, but I just can't. I think my problem is more with creativity than motivation. Like, I'm very creative. I have a dark and twisted creative mind, and I can use it and bend it to my will. But sometimes the John does not want a John, and I'm not able to, and I have a hard time right now coming up with, like, original designs, or just, like, designs that I can take from somebody else and make them my own and make them really cool. Stealing! We love to shoplift! But, that's hard. I mean, the motivation isn't really there either, so they're kind of, like, tag teaming on me, and I'm losing pathetically. It's like watching Creator Clash, except, one is more overpowered than the other. I am such a wussy. But, I don't know, I've just been trying to look at art that I like, take time to be like, hey, it's all good. You'll come around, my friend Lucas and Kai both made, like, fan art of my art. I mean, it's been a while since they've done it, but it's still, like, I love it when people, draw my art and just, like, tag me in it, and they're like, hey, drew what you drew, in my style, though, because it's so cool, like, seeing my art in, like, another universe is super dope, and I really appreciate it, and I look at those a lot. I have one, Lucas gave me, like, this tiny little canvas, with my, Instagram profile picture. It's a little clown, his name's Ollie, he's super dope, and it's on my desk right now, currently, sitting, like, where I can see it, like, I can see it right now, it's, like, a little, and Kai made a bunch of photos, or, like 2, I think, just drew 2, and, like, posted them to their Insta, like, a while ago, and sometimes I'll just go back and look at those, because they're all super dope, and I really appreciate it, and they're so cool. Like, my art friends are so cool, they're so cool. Speaking of art friends, go follow these goofy goobers on Instagram, and follow me, too, and subscribe. I don't know, like, just want to stay around, Julian. I think it's kind of comfy. It's definitely cringy, but, oh, yeah, side note, I wanted it to feel like the world wasn't as it should be, and wasn't so much melting as it was, kind of like ripping itself apart, but in the most, sensual way, I guess. That's why there's a little shkibidi-pop-pop and shkibidi-pop in the paper towels. Now, painting leaves and floral things, are kind of the same way. I just go in with the base color I know is gonna be there. And if it's like what's the word, like a difficult or a complicated, that's what I wanted. If it's a complicated floral arrangement, I'll go over and I'll sketch on top of it again, just to make sure that I'm getting it how normalize sketching on top of things you've already painted, because I want to get it right, so why wouldn't I? Like, what is the deal with people coming after simple things? But, like, I like to add the shadows first, and I've recently, found out, and by recently I mean like a year ago when I, painted over a painting to fix it, that's kind of how most professional painters paint. Painting the darks first, and then the lights, which makes so much more sense, and I was wrong. Again, I didn't really mix all the colors I wanted to before, but like the time, like I'm pretty sure the periods where you see my hand gone for like more than 20 seconds is where I'm like trying to mix all my colors again. I like to work with the midtones and the shadows a lot, and add a bunch. I like to add different colors in there too. Like, I'll add a little bit of yellow or a little bit of purple, to like lighten it or darken it, just because I think that's really cool, adding more color. I've been recently getting into adding more color into my work. I like muted colors, and I like just using colors that seem very moody, but adding color can really be helpful, and it doesn't have to be a bright color. You don't have to use bright colors to use a lot of color in your art, which is something I think I've struggled with a long time. And I think I'm finally... With flowers, on the other hand, I hate painting flowers. I love painting flowers, and I love them, but I also hate it. It's like hands. Every artist loves to draw hands, right? But they hate drawing hands. It's the duality of man. You either fish or you don't. That's all I'm saying. But, I recently watched a video from Lee. I can't remember her last name, but I'll post a picture. You know who it is. If you're big in the art channel community, you will know who Lee is. And they are so great, and they're so amazing, and I love them. I should just make a video saying all of my favorite art YouTubers, to be honest. I'm just going to say it. I might actually do that. Actually, I'm going to do that. Never mind. I lied. I'm doing that. Lee Elixton, I think. I can't pronounce, so I'll put a photo up. But they were talking about them also being in art funk, and I was like, great, we love relatability. Slay what you need to slay. And they were like, but is it really an art funk if you're still creating art? Like, even if it's not great, you're still making it, and you can always build on that. And that really stayed with me. So I'm like the funny dogs that are like, let me do it for you. Like, I want to draw them in my sketchbook so bad because they're so funky. I'm thinking about doing like sketchbook ASMR. Don't get me wrong, since I've been on hiatus, I have also been thinking of video ideas. So let me know what you think, guys. Let me know your feelings. If you enjoyed this art process or not, and if you liked it, if it was funny or quirky, or quirky in like an actual good quirky funny way, not quirky as in like a quirky, because I'll cry and then I will recess into a cave. I have a couple more videos that I'm thinking about doing, which I know I say that all the time and then I never do, but I genuinely do. Oh, here are the drips. I'm so sorry I did not get them on camera or film. Here's what it looks like, though. I think they're super cool. I think it actually adds to the piece. I like it like this. It needed something. Basically, what I did was... Oh, let me pick it up. I watered down the paint and went over it a couple times. Each time, less water. And I just let it drip, and then I shook it, and then I took some paint brushes on my finger and just whooped them up and down. Which is kind of like... I just like get really nitty-gritty and hands-on with my art. Like, I don't care what it is. My hand's going in it. Please don't take that out of context. But anywho, I hope you enjoyed this video, and it was somewhat fun to watch or entertaining, and I'll see you in the next one, next week, I promise, this time for real.